My name is Kwame. I'm the grandson of Kwame Nkrumah. And yes, I'm here in Addis for the African Media Awards, together with the descendants of the other great leaders of Africa. It's amazing. I love the city. I love the Ethiopian people and the culture, the food, the coffee, of course. So, and also I understand the significance and importance of this city in the context of Pan-Africanism and African unity and African pride. It's very meaningful and historic for me because it feels like I'm viewing what my grandfather was seeing in Addis as a strong symbol of African independence and African fight against colonialism. With the victory, of course, at Adwa, the Ethiopians, they proved that they could stand up to imperialism and colonialism, and that's obviously why Kwame Nkrumah has mentioned the victory at Adwa in his independence speech and many times in his Pan-African vision. You know, for me, it's simply an honor to be even connected to this man because he was really ahead of his time. And when I'm here in Addis, I can see that it wasn't only the Ghanaians who saw his genius. It's also Ethiopians. It's the rest of Africa. And so I'm very proud to see him mentioned, to see the picture of my grandfather. And yes, it shows this unity that we all feel as Africans in our struggle against colonialism. So I think everyone, but especially the youth and the next generation, we can learn from leaders such as Kwame Nkrumah and others that they had written the blueprint for how we should transition into an independent people, right? And of course, I believe that through unity, that's the first step. And then secondly, the economic emancipation that will follow once we are in control of our resources, once we are in control of our politics, then as Africans, we can also be a voice in the world and a superpower in itself. So my message to the youth is to study from the past and to learn how we can all be better leaders and continue the vision that our fathers and mothers taught us.
I'm Samia Yaba Nkrumah, and I'm the daughter of the great Pan-Africanist leader, Ghanaian leader, Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah, and I'm also the director and founder of the Kwame Nkrumah Foundation. Extremely inspiring to understand the significance of the Battle of Adwa is so important for Africans. It is a symbol of resistance against a colonial threat, and it's a symbol of victory against colonialism, and it's a symbol also of unity because the whole country of Ethiopia united to defeat a colonial threat. And as our father said, it will remain a symbol for every single African of how when we unite, we can defeat colonialism, we can defeat imperialism, and we can defeat today poverty, economic marginalization. So we need to remember this story. This is an African story, an African success story, which we need to tell ourselves and our children and generations to come. You see, our father said that our political independence was only the first step towards gaining control of our resources, our economies, so that we can raise the standard of living of Africans. So political independence was not an aim in itself, it was a means for Africans to gain their dignity. And to do that, what will make it easier for us is if we unite our forces, our resources, our human resources, our mineral resources, our natural resources. And that is the way forward for us today in Africa. We come from different cultures, different ethnic groups, we speak different languages, we hold different religions, but what we have in common, our father said, is more than what divides us. So the task of the young generation is to find common ground. We must talk, negotiate until we find common ground. So we unite and Africa becomes the African nation. United, strong, prosperous, 1.3 billion. And if you add the global African family or the diaspora, you are talking about 1.5 or 6 billion Africans. What is it that we cannot do? Privilege for me to be associated with him in any way. He's not just my dad, my father, but he's a leader. He's one of our heroes. I dare say even one of our African prophets, because he came, he gave us advice, he left us written advice in his over 10 books, including his main work on unity, Africa Must Unite, which was written and ready and distributed to African heads of state on the eve of the founding of the African unity, which is today the AU, in this great city of Addis Ababa in 1963. And if I may add, because several years ago in 2012, I came here with the president of Ghana at the time to unveil the statue of Kwame Nkrumah that the people and governments of Ethiopia have graciously agreed that it could be set outside the AU building. And our president gave me the scissors to cut the ribbon. And as the statue was unveiled, I looked down at what was written at the foot of the statue. And it says, and I quote, "Ethiopia shall stretch forth her hands to God. Africa must unite." End of quote. And that is from Kwame Nkrumah's speech in 1963. Yeah. Our father also said that behind any social revolution, there's an intellectual revolution. What does that mean? Before any big change, and I think the revolution for Africans is unity. That would be the greatest revolution in this century if we achieve it. We must. Now, it means we have to prepare our minds. We have to have the mindset for unification. And for that, we need to understand that as Africans, we have a great indigenous knowledge systems. So we can rely on that. We can rely on that when we are negotiating, because we have to sit and talk and talk and talk. This is part of our tradition. We talk and talk and talk until we reach consensus. There's nothing called, I am the winner, you are the loser, you are banished, you lose everything, I get everything. No, our tradition is inclusive. So this is what the leaders and people, this is what we must do. There is no problem in the continent that cannot be solved with talking. There's absolutely no conflict, you see? And this is our task, to find common ground, to understand our priorities. Our priorities is industrialization, manufacturing, not to be dependent on outside foreign economies. And to do that, we need to understand that we have to build our industries, our infrastructure, our places of knowledge together. Continental integration. continental planning of our development and economies. And it is possible. Just as we defeated colonialism, the Battle of Adwa is an example. Who would have thought that people even our warriors, many were not wearing shoes, but they defeated an army with sophisticated weapons. What was the secret? Unity and determination, and the belief that the African can change our circumstances for the better. This great country of Ethiopia, these great people have a very important role to play because it has become the symbol of Pan-Africanism, with the headquarters of the AU being right here. Plus, given your history of resistance, never colonized, you are a symbol for us. So you must take up that challenge and lead the call for genuine Pan-Africanism and African unity, which our father defined as total liberation, total emancipation, economic, political, and cultural, and total unification.
For me, as somebody who's passionate about science and technology, it makes me very happy that Ethiopia has invested in creating this experience for its people and showing off also the kind of work they've done in science and technology. And generally, it's amazing to see that there's progress of this scale happening in Africa. And the museum itself is visually very beautiful, and I'm sure it's been a great success with people of all ages. Yeah, so I think I was shown some of the examples of the work that's done in artificial intelligence, then agriculture, clean energy. So I think what I can see is that work is being done and progress is being made. So I remain hopeful for the future to see the emergence of technologies that can help better our lives.
I'm very happy. I think this is one, apart from the Adwa museum, I think this is a high moment for us because this is our future. We need, in Africa, we need to upgrade and develop our science and technology and have more young people interested in that. And Ethiopia has done very well. You are leading in that field, and to have a museum like this which will encourage young people to become interested in science and technology. And I remember our father's speech in 1963 right here in Addis at the OAU summit when he said we have to use science and technology to green the Sahara deserts. And I heard that over 40 billion trees have been planted over the last 6 years. So our future, our food, our well-being, and also our intellectual and spiritual happiness depends on how we can use technology. To be sustainable, we have to take care of our land, and Ethiopia has led the way in sustainable agriculture, in innovation and agriculture, as we've seen from this and as we know from your record. So we are happy to have it in this great city that is combining Pan-Africanism, with science and technology. So that is the future, that we stay united. I pray the day comes when our people and governments will work together, put our human resources, natural resources, mineral resources, all together to create better infrastructure, more innovation, and make life worth living for all Africans.